This is the iRobot Roomba i3 plus EVO 3550, and it is the first robot vacuum I have used that actually lets me forget about vacuuming for long stretches without my floors falling apart. I set it up once, told it when I wanted my floors cleaned, and it just handles the daily mess that used to nag at me. I think of this as a self-emptying robot vacuum for people who are busy, share a home with pets, or just do not want to babysit a gadget. I fit all three of those boxes. I work from home, I have a dog that sheds more than I thought possible, and I do not want to spend my evenings chasing hair tumbleweeds or dragging out a plug-in vacuum. This model is meant to live with you, not ask you for attention every day. The design is simple in ways that matter. The robot itself has a fabric-like texture on top that hides fingerprints and dust so it does not look grimy after a week. The large clean button is easy to hit if I want to start a run without opening the application. Underneath, there are two rubber rollers that move gunk into the suction path without wrapping hair around themselves. Those rollers are the reason I spend more time cleaning up my dog than cleaning the vacuum. There is also a single side brush that sweeps along baseboards and chair legs. The base station is tall enough to hold a bag in the tower, but the footprint is narrow and slides right against a wall. It uses a little ramp, so docking is smooth. When I open the lid, the bag lifts straight out and seals itself. I do not end up with a dust cloud in my face. That is important to me because I have mild allergies. Setup was straightforward. I downloaded the iRobot Home application, connected it to my wireless internet, and followed the prompts. It took only a few minutes and one quick firmware update. The application immediately offered a suggested schedule based on my habits, which I tweaked to match when I am out of the house. The first few runs were focused on learning my layout. It moves in tidy lines and builds a map as it goes. After a couple of cleanings, I had a full map with room labels that I could rename. From there, it felt like using a remote control for my home. I tap the kitchen and dining room, hit clean, and it takes off. The robot responds quickly to commands. The connection has been stable, and I have not had to constantly repair anything. Performance is what makes me keep using it. On hard floors, it picks up the gritty stuff I can feel under my feet near the entryway, and it does not snowplow piles of crumbs across the floor. On rugs and medium pile carpet, the suction and the rubber rollers dig out pet hair without making the rug bunch up. I notice it spends extra time where it hears or senses debris. When I spill ground coffee or my dog tracks in dirt after a rainy walk, the robot makes a second pass over that spot. Along walls, the edge brush does the work, and it gets most of what collects near the baseboards and chair legs. It is not perfect in corners, but neither am I. What matters is that the floor looks clean without me thinking about it. The self-emptying base changes how I use it day to day. The bin inside the robot is small, but it returns to the base and empties its bin into a sealed bag. I have gone close to 2 months without replacing that bag, which means I am not touching dust every day or every week. I slide open the tower lid, lift the gray holder, pull out the bag, and drop in a new one. The plastic collar clicks into place and I close the lid. It is a 30-second job. The only time I actually notice the base is the moment it empties. That burst of suction is loud. It lasts only a few seconds, but if I am on a call, I pause and let it finish. That is a trade-off I will take every time for the convenience of not dumping a bin after every run. I tested it the way I actually live. I ran it after dinner when there are crumbs under the table and flour near the island from baking. It found and cleared the mess without spreading it around. I scheduled it on weekday mornings while I walk the dog so it works through the living room and hallway without me stepping around it. I used targeted room cleaning before guests arrived. I told it to clean the entryway and the bathroom, and it just went there and got it done. I had it do a full run after a weekend of shedding, and the rollers came back with almost no hair wrapped around them. When I did find a few strands on the side brush, I popped it off and pulled them off in seconds. The battery behavior is sensible. In my space, it runs for about an hour and a quarter before it needs a charge. If it has not finished, it returns to the base, tops up, and then resumes exactly where it left off. It does not wander around trying to figure out what it missed. That resume function matters more than any number on a spec sheet, because I do not have to restart a job or remember what rooms were skipped. Over a week, every room gets the attention it needs. One specific use case that sold me is post-workout mornings. I do a quick routine in the living room, and there is always a fine layer of dust and lint around the yoga mat. Before I make coffee, I open the application, tap the living room, and hit clean. By the time I am done with breakfast, the floor is reset. No cords dragged around, no rug jammed under the coffee table, and no hair tumbleweeds hiding under the sofa. It feels like a small luxury that actually happens every day. The smart features are genuinely useful without becoming a chore to manage. Room-specific cleaning lets me target messes without a full house run. Voice control through Alexa is convenient when my hands are full. I say, "Alexa, tell Roomba to clean the kitchen," and it starts. The application gives me cleaning history, so I see where it spent extra time, and it suggests routines that match my habits. The filter is rated to capture a very high percentage of common pet allergens, and in practice, my sneezing has gone down because I am not emptying dusty bins in the kitchen trash can. I also like that the robot is methodical. It does not slam into furniture at full speed. It nudges chair legs just enough to get around them. If I leave a sock or a charging cable out, it sometimes tries to eat it, so I do a quick scan the way I would before a regular vacuum. That is about 30 seconds of prep before a whole house run, which I can live with. There are a few quirks. The emptying noise is noticeable, as I mentioned. The mapping takes a few runs to fully settle in, so room labels and boundaries might be a bit off until it learns. It handles thresholds, but very thick rugs with dark patterns can make it hesitate for a moment. It will usually work through it, and if it does not, I pick up the rug edge and it continues. The side brush can flick a few crumbs forward on hard floors, but the next pass picks them up. None of these are deal breakers. They are just the kinds of things I only notice because the rest of the experience fades into the background. Maintenance has been pleasantly light. I replace the bag in the base when the application tells me it is full. I tap the filter against the trash can every couple of weeks and replace it after a few months. I pull the rollers out and wipe them down when I see anything wrapped around them, which is rare. The base bags are an ongoing cost, but the convenience of not dumping a bin full of dust into my kitchen trash can several times a week is worth it to me. If you are juggling work, pets, and family, and you want floors that stay presentable without thinking about them, this is the robot vacuum I would recommend. It is not trying to wow me with specs. It just cleans reliably, empties itself, and obeys my schedule and my voice. If you want laser-precise room maps you can draw on like a blueprint, or you need a robot that also mops, this is not that device. If you want a dependable vacuum that makes day-to-day living feel calmer, the iRobot Roomba i3 plus EVO 3550 delivers. If this video helped you, please subscribe to the channel and drop a comment with your questions or your own experience. Thank you for watching.